one. Yes.
I'll fix it maybe here.
Yes, please.
So just the name, see the applause. If you hear the achievement, then you're wedding. So I'm Ghanaian entrepreneur. And she's a TV and radio show host, producer, public speaker, and women's advocate. Born on 25th June, maybe it's your birthday party. In Nkoko, Ghana. They had made a significant impact in the Ghanaian media industry. She began her broadcasting career till the age of 17 years. She was not legal. Hey! 17 years, what were you doing? With Live FM in Nkoko and later moved to Top Radio in Accra, Global. She was from Nkoko to Accra. She's all over the world now. Delay is best known for hosting the Delay Show. Every week we have a show. A popular television program that has been aired since 2008. Apart from her media career, Delay is also a successful entrepreneur. Number 5. Owning a production company and a business that produces mackerel and sardine. She has received several awards. There is an area with a doors, a dime. Doors will be brave, but that's a brave. And recognition for her contribution to women's empowerment and the media industry. Delay has been dubbed the Oprah Winfrey of Ghana. Due to her inspiring life and story, her ability to motivate young individuals and entrepreneurs nationwide. And there's a name she calls herself, I love it, Obapa Delay. So let's welcome Obapa Delay. The schools you've attended, your career path.
42. I'll turn 43 in June.
Wow!
I went
Also
to... Okay. I was born at Nkoko and I grew up there till I was like 11. Then I moved to Ebri Girls after school. I came to live with my auntie in a coupon for a bit. And around 17 was when my mom called to say that they had set up a new radio station, and back then radio wasn't so common like it is now, and she thought I had what it took to do it, so she wanted me to move back there with her and start the radio thing. So when I went, they were doing the test transmission, so she took me back to my JHS. And then I started teaching there. I was like on the verge of hitting 17. So I was teaching there for a bit. Then I started doing the radio work. So like learning to play music, being a DJ, and speaking on radio for the first time. Everything took off at that station. I was there for like a year and a half. And my mom got sick. So I moved to stay with my auntie in Tema. Then I came back to take care of my mom. So whilst I was taking care of her, I felt like the radio thing was something, it felt like an unfinished business of sorts. So I applied for a job at a radio station in Kumasi called Nkoswo. I used to commute, go there at dawn, play the mid-morning, come back and take care of my mom in the nights at Nkoko, go back to Kumasi, come back to... It went on for a bit until my mom passed on. Fast forward, I came to Meridian FM in Tema, to Adon for a bit, to Top Radio, to Oman, where I started my Delay show 17 years ago. then when I started English, I think 3 years into the show, I started writing the Fia Schwarzenegger series. It was there for a bit. I moved the delay show to Viasat, back to GH1, and then whilst at GH1, I wrote Coco Brown series, which was loosely based on my life story. And TV3 was still talking to me in the background to bring me back. I was like, no, things didn't end on a good note. I have a sad taste about your company. I don't want to come back. But there was a new management and they said, look, you have to come back. So I went back to TV3. I think it's been 3 years already, I don't remember. And I mean, it's like my life, for me, my television life came full circle when I came back to TV3. And it's one of the top rated shows on their station, highly commercial. I have Telecel, Betway, Nasco, Pepsodent Ghana, Pepsodent toothpaste, that's Unilever Ghana. I have Malta Guinness Ghana Limited, and I don't remember all of them. It's highly commercial. I mean, to get just a single sponsor is no joke. And having all these, there's Gino, there's Nivea, there's a lot. And my own brand, the Delay range. And now there's Lindsay sanitary pad, which has my picture on it. It's a new product that has my picture on it. So my career has been, it's been one hell of a journey. One hell of a journey. And I do public speaking. Last year I put that on hold because I was concentrating on my bakery. And people call me, oh, want to come and talk to us? I'm like, look, I'm working on my bakery. It was tough at the beginning, so I had to pay attention. But the bakery also took off in a beautiful way. And I'm like, okay, now I'm ready to pour back into other people, so let me come back to speaking. Yesterday, I spoke at the National Women's Summit at the Grand Arena, and today I'm here. And I have a lineup of other public speaking events. I enjoy doing it. So that about sums up my life. When I'm not working, I like working out. I work out 5 times in a week. I love going to church. I love going to church. Like, I love church. I'm a fanatic, like everyone knows. Yeah. And I'm a faithful tither. Yeah. Let me put that out there. I tithe faithfully. I don't miss out on it. Like, when I don't tithe for a month, like for 1 month, it feels like there's something I've done very wrong. Because I've made the Lord a shareholder in my business. And he says that because you tithe faithfully, I would rebuke the devourer for your sakes. So I know that when I make the Lord a shareholder, he's there, he's my partner. So when the devil rears his head, he's not battling me, he's battling my shareholder as well. So when people say, oh, Delay, what's your secret? There are friends of mine who say, oh, Delay, what's your secret? I'm like, oh, it's a tithe. And they're like, oh, you're talking about the real secret. I'm like, that's the real secret. And for me, I think that's the only extraordinary thing that I'm doing that has, elevated me to this level. So there's nothing exciting about me, that's all.
Impressed. Are we not impressed? I hope you are taking notes already. You mentioned your Christian life.
Yeah.
Can we know how this Christian journey started? Have you always been a Christian? How has it influenced your career?
Okay. I was born into the Church of Pentecost, but when I was in my teenage, I didn't understand my mother's obsession with always trying to take me to church. Like, she wanted me to be at church. And my mom was the kind who would go for what they used to call anopasori. I don't know whether it's still there now in our churches. It's like you go to church at dawn, like very early in the morning. My mom used to do anopasori. She would go for a numerisori. She would do a Bible, a milkwo. She was like obsessed. And I remember there was this prayer camp at Odoko. she would come there, come and stay there, pray. But like I was a teenager, I didn't care about church. She used to force me and stuff, I didn't care. But when I came to live in Accra after she died, and I was struggling with life and stuff like that, and I didn't know what to do, a friend introduced me to Winners Chapel, at industrial area. I used to live at Mataheko. So when we moved from Mataheko to East Legon, I was not going to church. Then in my neighborhood, an old friend said they had opened an ICGC branch there, the Open Heavens Temple back then. That was why I met your pastor. He used to be my member there. This was 13 years ago. So when my friend took me to the church, it was a new church where like 30 people. And after the service, I met the head pastor, Eric Meku, and then he had seen me on TV and stuff. So he took it upon himself to mentor me. So he was the one who introduced me to tithing. And he let me really understand that he spoke to me and understood the kind of dream I had and the entrepreneur I wanted to be. And he promised me that there was no way I was going to be able to attain the heights I had imagined if I didn't have God in my corner. And I think that was like the life-changing moment for me, when I was also ready to open up and listen to him and accept his guidance. And he used to, do this, make this commitment, do this. When they are saying come and pledge, I didn't have, I'll go and pledge. I think this is crime, I say. Because back then I was, I would literally empty my bag and put it in the pot. And so that man was the person who ushered me into the proper Christianity that I entered. And that's a part of me that people do not know. When we're having conferences at church, the Speed Conference, Destiny Summit, we're having the anointing to finish and all of that, I make sure that I go, like I am there. My church mates know me there. I love to pray because, see, it's a cutthroat market. People have all kinds of things that is protecting them. So if you are there and you don't have the devil on your side or God on your side, you're just there. Wow. So accepting that and making that like your mantra and moving with it is what was going to take you to your next level. So Christianity has played, what has brought me here. My belief and my faith is what has brought me here.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You also mentioned that you rose through the stages to get to where you are. Now, at the time, I'm sure it was difficult for women to push through. Was there any point where you were limited, and how did you push through? How did you break through to get to this point as a woman?
I don't think at the point. I think being a woman in our part of the world has always been an issue. I wouldn't say it's a problem. It has always been an issue. Women have always been put in a certain box. We're supposed to get married, make kids, stay home, take care of kids. So I'm not going to talk about my past. I'm going to talk about now. Like, I used to do importation, give the things to my customers and they would distribute. Then I decided I was going to go into manufacturing some of my products here. Let's take our bakery for instance. It's an industrial bakery.
Yeah.
And I had to, for the first time, I had to employ people and experience them. And I realized that when I gave out instruction to men, some of them were not willing to take it. But my kid brother, they will listen to him because he's a man. They are like, oh, you're bad. Even though you are paying him, he still feels like you are a woman and like, who are you? Why are you coming to boss me around? Even yesterday, one of our drivers, he's becoming like a nuisance to everyone. And I called him and I told him off. Then he called my sister that Madame Ofre or see anything.
Wow. Forgive.
Yeah, Madame, we get the family to check no consider for. It's your job.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to pamper you. What is the consideration here? At the end of the month, when you are taking your salary, you don't consider me.
Yeah. Thank you.
And he's only doing this because I'm a woman. Because if it's like, if your boss were to be like a man, you can't call him and ask and say, "Is a boss was saying again?" Or let's say your boss was a Lebanese or an Indian. You can't call and ask that question. So but I mean, I am that person who knows what she's doing. And I keep saying this, in as much as it is hard to fire people, I hire to fire. So, my business, my rules, if you can't abide by them, you should let your mommy set up her own business and employ you. And if you are that kind of woman, people think you are some way, you are difficult. But that's the only way you get the job done in Ghana. Otherwise, they will collapse your business and move on to the next company.
Thank you. Thank you.
So if you are trying to make your business survive, you have to be strong. And I'm not saying be abusive. You have to stand your ground, be firm. Be firm and kind at the same time. Be kind with them, but sometimes they'll take your kindness for weakness. So let them know that in as much as you are family, you are still the head and not the tail.
Thank you. I was taking notes. Picked from that you are strong-willed.
Definitely.
Yes. How
I'm not called the Lion Queen for the sake of it. There's a reason.
You are strong-willed, and as a result of that, you have a global mindset. It's pushing you into the global spaces.
Yeah.
What are you going to tell the youth? What advice would you give to them? How would they be able to develop that strong mindset to be able to enter the global market?
I think the whole idea of capturing a certain global market when you have not done your homework by capturing your own turf is a hoax. You need to be able to be strong in your country, your locality. And I always like to give examples, like with my work. My bakery, when it kicked off, I employed people and handed things over to them to manage the business. And they used to move bread from the Adenta municipality to Kaswa to sell. Then they were not performing so well at the beginning. So I had to let everyone go. And I stepped in and I started managing things with my sister. So the first thing we did was we decided that the Lord gave us that location for a purpose. We realized that where our factory was, there was no bakery there. So before we moved to Kaswa, which is in the central region, right? You've not captured Adenta, the municipality where you are, but you are moving to Kaswa. So we said, if the shop closest to our bakery doesn't have the bread, then we have failed. So we started building by selling to our streets, then the next street, then the next street. Then we started expanding. From Santor, we came to Ajay Kojo, we went to Katamanso, we moved to Lakeside, Gotre Little. We were just spreading gradually, going to Adenta, Oyarefa, Ayimensa, Danfa. Then we said, at the back of us, we have Lashibi and Spinters. I moved to Lashibi. I relocated. I went to stay there for 2 weeks. I moved from shop to shop to shop myself. When you look at my social media, you see it with my guys introducing the product. After 2 weeks, we were in almost every shop at Community 18, Lashibi, Spinters, Kotobabi. We moved to Sakomono. We went to Nungwa, Adegon. We started moving. Then we moved to 2 weeks ago. We started building from Bemakam, Chado, trade fair, the idea is to move from that side to Lekman and meet the guy at Lashibi, so that area we've covered it. Then we move to the next zone. What am I trying to say? Let's take Ghana for instance. When we say global for Ghana, global is when you get to Tamale. Your bakery is at Adenta. You are not selling to people at Oyarefa, but you are going to Tamale. You are joking. So what I'm trying to say is, once you have a template and you are able to conquer your neighborhood, moving to the next location shouldn't be an issue. That's all I can say. So today, when you go to, let's say, 10 shops in Ghana, 10 shops in Accra, you see delays starting in 9 or 8 shops. No, so it doesn't come as a shock to me that when I go to New York or I go to Germany and I walk into the Afro shops, I see my product there. Because I've worked for 13 years and I've done my homework well here. So the Ghanaians travel to Ghana, they do their containers, and I don't have any connection with them, but they naturally take our things and it's everywhere across the world. So when you do your homework well, you attract the global market naturally.
Thank you so much. You have to influence your space before you can go global.
Exactly.
Did you start rich?
Not at all. But who said I'm rich? The way you said it, it's like I'm rich. Hey, I beg you.
Did you start rich?
I'm barely getting by.
Did you have a lot of resources to start?
Hey.
How did you start?
You are joking. So, the genesis of my food company was the first time I went to Dubai. I casually sat at this hotel lobby having lunch. Then 2 Caucasians, I think one Swiss guy or something like that, was having a conversation with another at the next, like on the next table. And I heard them. One said, more people will eat more food in the next 10 years than they've eaten in the past 50 years. It was just a conversation. Just another day, another hotel lobby. Another Caucasian guy having a conversation with another one. I came back to Ghana. Then my cousin, Gerald, visited me at my shop, Smooch, at Matayeko, where I used to sell shoes. And he had things with Adonko bitters and this bitters and that bitters and stuff like that. He was like, oh, the food industry, like food and water and stuff, is really good. You should do something. He even suggested I went into Total Park, that alcoholic thing. And then when he said that, I remembered the conversation the guys had in Dubai. That was the Holy Spirit talking to me. Giving me, hints here and there. I'm talking to you, that's your cue. So sometimes we need to be discerning. Our spirit needs to be sharp. Because we pray and the Lord opens doors for us. But we are too busy spending time on TikTok that we don't even listen to the leadings of the Spirit. When he said that, immediately my interest was ignited. I started digging and finding out, like, things, how I could get into the food industry, going online, searching for contacts. And I saw a certain lady online. Her name is Julie. I took her number online. I called and called and called, and it was a number that wasn't working. Fast forward, I went back to Gerald and I said, the food thing you were telling me, I'm interested. I want to start importation. And he said, I know a guy called Fred in China. I'm going to contact him so that he gets a contact. He got a certain lady. I called the lady, and it was the Julie lady whose number I saw online. So you see that there was a higher power that was orchestrating things for me. And back to your question of, did I have money? I had small savings, and I spoke to the lady and she said she was going to help me. My story is just a weird and interesting one. When I settled on doing the mackerel, back then there was Obapa and
Yeah.
African Queen. They were the household brand. She told me to work on my label. I tried a lot of labels. I wasn't getting the right label. I prayed about it. I dreamt and I saw the label. A friend connected me to Bulldog, that pandit on entertainment something.
Yeah.
And I described that I saw my label. It was Ghana flag with vegetables. He said, okay. He brought the label back to me, and what I saw in my dream is what he brought. So it was the Holy Spirit that guided him to bring the same thing. And then, so when you look at our label, it's Ghana flag, all of our labels. But as like years have gone by, we've modified it to suit every product and change it. When I bought my first container, I didn't have money to clear the thing at the port. It was there for a long time. And I was advertising for a product called Yaz. The man had to give me some money. When he brought me the money, I used it to go and clear the goods. And I didn't have a warehouse. I kept it in my 2-bedroom house that I was renting. Some in the storeroom, in the kitchen, and like the living room. When you enter the house, you meet the product. I'm just trying to say that it wasn't like a bed of roses for me.
No.
And at the beginning, my mother had completed the university. He said he wasn't going to look for a job. He was going to come and work with me. And he said his friend from the uni also wanted to join. So these university graduates used to carry the mackerel on their heads. Today, a graduate will not do that. Because I had a dream, but they shared in my dream. And there are days when they used to go to the domain markets. I remember one particular day, they sold a 10 out of the whole container. Then they went to Okaishi, a certain woman called Dorcas or Dorothy. It's been years. She had been seeing them coming there every day. And then she was like, what are you selling? They said, delay mackerel. What is that? He said, it's a new product. I said, let me take some and help you. When the woman took the mackerel, the woman next to her saw it and said they should give her some. Then the next one saw it and said they should give her some. I was there one day. I'm having goosebumps saying this. My brother called and said, Dolores. I said, yes. I didn't know Afa.
Thank you.
I was like, really? He said, yes. Okay, Shifwajatu. And people are calling us at CMB. I think the highlight for me was when one day I went to Odoko to visit my auntie and I saw a tin of our mackerel in the case of a KK seller. Wow. I was like, this is the doing of the Lord. So that small conversation in a hotel lobby in Dubai and an affirmation from my cousin Gerald and my resilience and determination to see through and follow through has made the Delay Foods brand a household brand today. I could have slept over it. When I took the money, my savings, I could have bought a Louis Vuitton bag or a Chanel bag, which I have today. So I'm just saying, it's not easy, but when you are determined enough, and I wasn't lucky. Today I'm sitting here and talking to you guys, but I didn't have the opportunity of attending a seminar or like a program and someone sharing their life. I didn't even imagine that program, that product will bring me here to talk to other people, because frankly I was a nobody. Yeah, so I didn't start rich.
Thank you so much. So you guys won't be spending all your money
on bags.
When God gives you a vision, He gives you provision.
Exactly.
And He will take
I like
you
that.
You mentioned contacts, Bulldog and all those people. How did you build your network? Now we have young people who struggle to get to know other people. Now you tell them, oh, wait me so me them and I'm a ferry. How did you build your network?
I think I've always been like a very aggressive person when it comes to chasing after the things that I want. Like with the Delay show, going to seek for sponsorship. my mindset is when I come, you say no or yes. When you say no, I won't die. When you say yes, praise the Lord. So I think the fear of rejection is what, stops a lot of us from achieving the things we can achieve. If the person says no, you won't die. So you should make the move anyways. And if it's your moment or your time, the person will say yes. And sometimes to me, I'm too stubborn. When you say no, I'll keep coming. I will keep coming until you get tired and say, okay, let's just do it. That's the kind of person that I have always been. Oh, I want sponsorship. We don't have a budget. Okay, come back, then I'll come. Then I'll keep coming. Then they get tired, they're like, okay. There's some people, they will never throw in the towel, but others will eventually say, okay, let's try something small. And some people will say, there are moments when I had to advertise for people for peanuts at the beginning. Because I was building myself, I've been associating myself with these brands is what helped me build my equity and goodwill. And once you build the equity and the goodwill, eventually you put a price on what you are selling. But don't be afraid that people reject you. Keep going. Don't just, I went, they said no, so I won't go. There's some people who have gone for visa interviews for years and they reject. They keep going back until they get it eventually. So you keep knocking. Even God, when we pray to him, does he always answer immediately? No. Sometimes this one wait and wait. Like, we are like a rade. What did he so akaye? Then eventually, when it is his time, he will open the door. So we shouldn't be afraid and we should keep going until eventually the door opens up for us.
Thank you. What are some of the challenges you faced? What are some of the biggest challenges you faced while building your equity and goodwill?
Rejection. That was my biggest challenge. At the beginning, I was never a loved person in this country. I had the challenge of being the first young person to present an entertainment show on TV. My style of questioning, the way I was, my approach, and stuff like that. But I also had in mind that in order to be irreplaceable, I had to dare to be different. Because if everybody was doing the same thing, the only way I was going to stand out was when I was different. So I had to be the change maker. And it wasn't going to be it wasn't a good journey, also to speak, for me. And I also had the challenge of people I had helped before taking it up upon themselves to launch smear campaigns against me and say all sorts of things, lie about me blatantly in the media for years, drag me, try to, turn the whole Ghana against me, which worked for a bit. And until people realize that, I'm just a woman chasing my dreams with no malice or evil intent. So all I'm trying to say is that I face rejection of all forms. Like society's definition and expectation of beauty. People thought those who are supposed to come on TV are supposed to be fair, light-skinned women with a certain body, tall, a certain kind of physique and features. I am a typical African woman, full lips, gap in my teeth, tiny eyes like a Chinese. Yeah, so my looks were different for them. So they just said, we will not accept you. But like I said, when you say you won't accept me, okay, fine. But I will be on your TV for 17 years. And you have no choice. You eventually accept me. Because I've accepted myself. And God has accepted me. So rejection was one of my biggest challenges. And being different. I'm not the regular girl. I'm different. Like, I'm assertive, strong, feisty, hot-head. I have an opinion, a strong opinion. And I'm different. That's just who I am. So, and I'm unapologetic about being different. Yeah.
Thank you
basically.
So much. Thank you. Delay has become a household name.
Indeed.
Do you still aspire to do more?
Of course.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years?
The next 5 to 10 years, I think I'm in love with the bread business now. And in my head, like I've pictured having this huge place where like machines will be doing bread and there will be trailers moving bread across the country. It seemed like a far-fetched dream, but it's possible.
So, how can these young people, including myself, how can we prepare ourselves for this? Some are in SHS from Ido College yet to graduate. Some are in the university. Some have just completed the university. Some are doing national service. And I had this friend of mine telling me, life is not easy. He didn't know that working, being a worker is going to be difficult like this. And here's someone who, after the national service, doesn't know if he's going to be maintained over there or he's going to have to search for a job. How do we, the young people, prepare ourselves for this market?
So I think the first step is getting things right with God. Because if you listen to everything I've said, when I got things right, when I met Pastor Heneku and he introduced me to God, and like I said, I was prepared to embrace him and follow his leadings. You realize that I was suffering, but the Lord will find a way of orchestrating things and making things happen for you. So the first thing is to get things right with God. When you get things right with God, you don't have to just be a spiritual guy. You need to learn responsibility. Like you are doing your service, like someone said, go there on time. When they give you a task, make sure you deliver. Do it well. You will be amazed at who is watching you. You will be afraid of losing your job, but you might even get elevated faster than usual because you are astute. And your bosses, you never know who is looking at you. So getting things right, because being responsible, being diligent. Because if you're a diligent man, you'll be dining with kings and queens. I'm not the one saying it. The good book says it. And the Bible doesn't lie. It is like the best manual for us as Christians. So when you have that kind of lackadaisical behavior where you're like, oh, if it works or it doesn't work, we all day inside. That attitude, which most of our guys have, like whatever. I'll go to work. By the time I'll get there late, and then I'll spend an hour having my wachi. And after eating my wachi, I'll spend the next 2 hours on TikTok, scrolling and watching videos. Washi shared social media and said, "Give your timetable." Instagram waha, YouTube waha, Snapchat waha, TikTok waha, Twitter, Thread, Bibia, or spending if you have wakwa. You are wasting your youth, your time, your life. And social media, I use it more than anyone. But what do I use it for? Business. So the social media is an enterprise for the Mark Zuckerbergs and the rest. So the more time you spend there, data you spend there, you are making someone rich at your own expense. So we need to prioritize what we want to do in life. We need to be serious. There's one of my mentors, the owner of the Yas product, Mr. Brobe. He has something he says. He says, Dolores, life is a serious business. Indeed it is. Then you will not know until you are in your 40s. Then you know it is a serious business. And you think you have your youth forever. Time comes at you so fast. Before you know, you are old. And then life comes at you. And then you realize that you didn't make anything off of your life because you are not a serious person. There is no successful person who is a joker. They are serious people. They pour themselves into whatever they do. And when they start one thing, they keep at it until they make sure it works. Before at that much I know. That much I know. So the youth needs to find God, be dedicated, astute, diligent, be serious, keep your eyes on the goal. And at a certain age, you should know what you want to do. I keep saying this, some people go through too many interests. Today he wants to be a footballer, the next minute he wants to be a seamstress. 1 minute someone did some food joint, he's going to do that. Then he changes his mind so soon. He's doing Ofo's bill. Just going through life, dilly-dally, not serious. Life is a serious business. If there's anything we should take out of today's conference, is that phrase. Life is a serious business. It is.
Thank you so much. Move on to our next question.
Okay, the questions are a lot, Papa.
We want to hear it all from you. Now, in the quest to become influential, in the quest to get to a good point in our lives, the youth mistake being famous for being influential. So now they are all on social media and all they do is dance for likes, do all sorts of things. How can we use this social media to position ourselves for this markets that you've been able to enter?
The dance example, dance has become a good enterprise for some people.
Yes.
Brands are signing them.
Oh, please let me clarify.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Okay, alright.
Yeah, like someone like me, when I did the radio thing and it changed into TV and stuff, there was never a moment that I, went in front of the camera and said I was looking for fame. For me, it was just work. And during those times, there was no Facebook. There wasn't WhatsApp. There was nothing like this. But fame found me anyways. Because fame was then the byproduct of what I was doing. It wasn't why I set out. Like I didn't set out to find fame. Because in our era, there was no social media to make you famous. We're just doing our work, coming on TV, looking for sponsors back then. We used to come on TV, no makeup. You just put lip gloss and black pencil on your eye. You were more, you were more serious about the kind of questions you're going to ask and how you're going to get responses and emotions from your guests. That was where our attention was. But today, the fame is like on the top of the list. People are looking for fame and the influence, as you said. But I guess I can never really understand because I have never really been that kind of person. I am more of a business-minded person. Everything I see, I look out for the opportunity in there, like the social media thing, like Facebook, for instance. People post on Facebook, but there are some people who are now monetizing Facebook. They post their picture and they get paid. But some post their picture and they want likes. So I think it's all about priority. We can't all be, be focused and serious people. So for those who are serious, they need to take advantage. If you are on the social media and you are building it, you should find a way of leveraging and making something out of it. Because the fame, people have been more famous than us. They were the super oldies. The super oldies were the real superstars. They didn't have social media, but they were known nationwide. Today, some people are known on Twitter, but they are not known on Facebook. Some are known on Instagram, but people don't know them on other platforms. And there are people who are known on all the platforms, like me sitting here. But does it bring money? No. So how can I leverage by selling things on there? So instead of wasting our time, there are students here, right? You can form WhatsApp groups. Before you know, you start doing maybe juice or something. You start selling to your dorm mates. You start posting in the groups. Before you know, you have 2-3 followers on Instagram. You are posting your fruit juice there. You are doing it small. Then maybe you are doing mango flavor, then you add strawberry, then banana, then that. Then you are expanding from UPSA, you are going to Legon, you are going to Winneba Secondary School. Your friends who know people. And then they will be selling and selling and selling. And you are the next mogul. Rome wasn't built in a day. You start from somewhere. You start selling to your friends and your family. And then before long, you are doing canned stuff. It sounds like a dream, but you don't get charged to dream. So you can dream. What are you writing? Yeah, dreaming is free. And every successful person is a dreamer. Because everything I'm talking about, oh, I want to do a bakery. I would dream it first before I action it. So you dream, then it happens. And nobody will bring you a bill. This is your invoice. E-levy and COVID levy for dreaming last night. Nobody does that. So we can dream and dream and dream and dream and action the dream, and before long, it's a reality.
Wow. Thank you. We're getting to the end.
We should.
How have you handled criticism in your career?
I love that question. I have never seen a statue built for a critic. The day I will see that they are unveiling a statue for a critic, that's the day I'll start worrying about critics. I take criticism, but constructive ones. And I don't take constructive criticism from people who have not constructed anything.
Wow.
So you are saying so much about something you don't know. So maybe if you know so much about it, then you can come and teach me. It's like someone who has never, won a cup or a trophy, teaching someone how to win a cup or a trophy. That's what they call in my local dialect, Bullgod. If you go do if you fit do make if it be easy, do make easy. It's always those who do not know, who have a lot to say. Always them. It's like today, I saw someone writing that, Delay went to the Women's Summit and look at the English she was speaking. I'm like, look, me, I do not carry English on my shoulders like a badge of honor. Because what will it profit a man if he can speak all the English in the encyclopedia but his book? At the end of the day, the Russians and the Germans do not pride with themselves with how much English they can speak. It is always the Africans. We can speak English than people from England. Yeah. As for us, we know. We need to set our eyes on what is important in life. Forget the critics. Have I answered your question?
Yes, you have. I'm sure people are itching to ask questions.
They should go ahead.
So before the questions begin, do you have any final words for us?
I mean, the same old thing. Just set your eyes on God. Be consistent. Consistency is key. There's an Akan adage. He says that what you also go for one in the trail. See, you can't, if you have started portrait farm, you don't finish, then you move on to the next. What happens to the eggs and the stuff like that? You need to, and there are people who never finish what they start. There are people like that. They start something they never finish. How can you live life like that? When you start something, you need to follow through and finish. And most importantly, know God, pay your tithe. Very important.
Thank you. We won't waste much time. We'll move straight to questions.